day, everyone! I am Joanne Soriano Dating.
I'm Margie Macy Benitez.
I'm Kim Ashley Cabinta.
I'm Lawrence de la Peña.
And we are from Pangasinan State University, Urdaneta City Campus, and today we are tasked to discuss the meaning and relevance of history in our subject Readings and Philippine History.
Learning outcome. Understand the meaning and relevance of history.
So before we officially start our discussion and to have an overview about the lesson, let us first have a pretest that consists of 5 questions. Direction: choose the correct answer provided in the box. So, what is history? Derived from the Greek word historia, which means knowledge acquired through inquiry or investigation, also known as the study of the past. As a discipline, Merriam-Webster 2018 defined history as a chronological record of significant events, such as those affecting a nation or institution, often including an explanation of their causes. History is a systematic account of set of natural phenomena which are arranged in their chronological order. Aristotle, the father of logic. History is a never-ending dialogue of events between the past. History is a learning inquiry about the past of mankind.
Here's Miss Cabinta to discuss to you the meaning of historians and how history is made.
How history is made.
Historians attempt to understand the past based on evidence. Historical evidence comes directly from society is called primary source. Historians interpret the primary source to decide what they actually tell us about the past. Interpretation: the process of deciding on the meaning of a historical source. Based on these interpretations, historians attempt to create a narrative or a story about what happened in the past. Historical narratives and interpretations are known as secondary source. Historian, a person who specializes in the study of history and who writes books and articles about it. Okay, here's the famous Filipino historians. Teodoro Agoncillo. He was among the first Filipino historians renowned for promoting a distinctly nationalist, essayist, and poetic point of view of Filipino history. He was named National Scientist of the Philippines in 1985 for his distinguished contribution in the field of history. He is known as a nationalist author whose books, essays, and poetry often reflects the point of view of Filipino or pale-plate profile. His notable works include the history of the Filipino people, Malolos, the crisis of the Republic, the writings and trials, Bonifacio, and revolt of the masses. Number 2, Renato Crisanto is known as a Filipino historian. Apart from being historian, he was also engaged in foreign service, working for the Filipino mission to the United Nations in the Department of Foreign Affairs. Constantino held professional positions at the University of the Philippines and other prominent universities. He became a historian by teaching the Filipino to resume our colonial history, to recify it into the learn from the past. He wanted Filipinos to have a useful memory of a past to advance the Filipino guest of genuine national symbolan of 2007. Number 3, Gregorio F. Zaide. He was historian, author of politician from the town of Pagsanwan, Laguna in the Philippines. a multi-awarded author. Zaidi wrote 65 books and more than 500 articles about history. He was one of the founders of the International Association of Historians of Asia, or IAHA, and the president of the Philippine Historical Association for 3 terms. Okay, here's the number 4, Trinidad Pardedri Travera. He was a Filipino physician, historian, and politician of Spanish and Portuguese descent. Trinidad, also known by his name or T.H. Pardo de Travera, was known for his writings about different aspects of Philippine culture. A very valuable contribution to Philippine historiography was the study of the Father Murillo Velarde. Maps of the Philippines, published in 1734, which was the first detailed map of the archipelago, notable for its accuracy and neatness, or Arizona. Up next is Miss Benitez to discuss the meaning of historiography and historical resources.
Historiography. Historiography is the study of how history is written and how historical understanding changes over time. Writing of history, or historical writing. It is based on critical examination of sources, selection of particular details from authentic materials in those sources, and the synthesis of those details into a narrative, done through historical research with the aid of historical methodology. Historical sources. Historical sources is an original sources that contains important historical information. These sources are something that inform us about history at the most basic level, and are used as clues in order to study history. Examples of historical sources are documents, a piece of written, printed, or electronic matter that provides information such as governmental records, journals, and newspapers. Next is archaeological records, the body of physical or not written evidences about the past, such as artifacts, and objects that made, crafted, or shaped by humans such as tools, weapons, and pottery. And fossils. A fossil is any preserved remains, impression, or trace of anyone's living thing from a past geological age. Fossils give us a useful insight into the history of life on Earth. They can teach us where life and humans came from and show us how the Earth and our environment have changed through geological time. And lastly, oral history. Oral history is the collection and study of historical information about people, families, important events, or everyday life using audio tapes, video tapes, or transcription or planned interviews.
Importance of history. Una, history provides identity. We could determine and understand the contribution of our ancestor in the foundation of our humanity, origin, and inherent culture. History gives picture to our humanity and to our society. Pangalawa, history helps us understand the problems of the present. History can give us deeper understanding of the different problems and offer solutions in our present and future. In the study of the past events, we discover new ways in studying and solving problems in the present and future. We could understand the tasks in the present and future if we study the history. The events in the past has relation to our present and future. It gives meaning in different things and events in our society. Pangatlo, history helps us understand people and societies. History can be used to examine and forecast the things in the environment and society. We've learned to appreciate culture, love, and respect to other people in the world. It develops our knowledge about different traits of people, culture, place, and time. Pangapat, essential for good citizenship. History is an eye-opener to understand our culture, language, and society. History may arouse patriotic, humanitarian nature in people. The stories of us about people and things in the world we live provide valuable lessons to us. Before we end this discussion, here's a post test for you to assess whether you learned something about this discussion. You only have 6 seconds each slide to answer this post test. Here's the direction. Choose the correct answer for the following questions. Do post the compiled answers in the chat box after the post test.